So today we're here discussing the future Trunks arc as a whole, and I'm here with
Daniel.
Okay, so there was many times in this arc where they would go into the future because it's kind of a cycle. They go into the future, get their asses kicked, come back into the past, go back, get beat up, come back to the past, and then they go back again. But each time they have many instances of rage boosting, and it's just like, to me, it was just overused. What do you think about that?
I don't know if it was overused because it made sense. In each instance where they used it, it made sense. I think there was too much back and forth.
That was like a whole storyline, like, back and forth.
That was like 5 episodes.
Yeah.
Like 3 episodes at least. And I thought it was kind of interesting. But they were really doing the measure once, cut twice type of fighting style there. Because
they would just jump into it.
Yeah, they would just jump into it, get their butts kicked, or not, like kind of just call it an even draw.
Yeah.
And then come back, and then it was, we need to know more information. Let's go look into it some. Look into it some, leave, go back to the future, get their asses kicked again with slightly more information, go back to the past again, take the new information, look into it some more. It was a lot of, like, we found out something. Let's go back, let's do some stuff, let's go forward. It's like Metroid.
Like how?
Like how you don't have all the tools necessary for a room, so sometimes you'll have to visit that area 3 times.
So you go back and forth to use different weapons or something?
Yeah.
Or you get a new weapon, so you go back to the door, see if the weapon will work on the door?
Right. And that's what it seemed a lot like was, nope, we don't know anything. We should look into this some. Okay, we looked into it some. This is what we know now.
Oh, we got beat up again.
We can't go that far. Let's go back.
Yeah, Zamasu got killed. Let's see if he's gone now. Nope, he's not gone now.
No more zombie.
We're going to get our asses kicked again.
Yeah, I think it would have been as bad if they didn't do that as often.
Yes, most definitely. Could have been a little more cohesive. It was just like the whole arc was just those 3 going to the future, coming back, going to the future. And like you said, like trial error kind of stuff.
Yeah, which, I mean, Goku's done before, but you know who really doesn't do that?
Vegeta.
The guy that's whole fighting style is overthinking.
Apparently.
So I think that was my biggest issue with that. Which, like I said, also could be considered a good thing for the series. As I was saying earlier, was every time they developed a way and thought it worked and then it didn't, it went back and forth from, that's kind of a cool idea, I think I know what's going to happen. Oh, no, that's not what happened. But I think this arc pushed it one too many times.
Yeah, it definitely was good, like the keeping the audience guessing as to what's coming next.
Right, and hey, you want to keep your audience guessing and discussing and talking, because that means people are watching and they're discussing and talking.
Exactly, and they're keeping the concepts alive.
Right, and more people are going to overhear and look into it. Like I said, I really think it was that last bit when evil zombie chunks guy, they went one too far.
They just should not have done that.
Yeah,
they should have just ended it with Trunks killing him.
Yeah, it was really the one thing too far.
Yeah, because it made sense, because they established his immortality was basically wearing off, because Vegeta was bashing him, and they're like, oh, we're getting, like, his immortality is waning because he is not that person anymore, essentially. Yeah. He's only like half of that person.
Well, and then they tried to still explain in a way that, half of him is still there. It's like, all right, well, I don't know about you or gods or really any alien species. They have made it pretty solid through a majority of Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball. You can't survive with only half your body.
Right.
I mean, there's a select few that can. So you know what? It would have been kind of cool if they would have sliced off half his body and like threw him into space Frieza style.
Yeah, or like half the immortal half was like hopping around on his leg or something.
Well, or like just like frozen and thrown into space or the sun or something.
Or trap him in like Mafuba style, or trap him in like the Z-Sword, or trap him in something.
Yeah, there was really like a way that they could have done it that would have been enough to end the show and still like explain. Like, okay, Trunks sliced him in half. Well, he's immortal. but he only has half a body now. So his own immortality.
So he can't fight back
there.
with half a body.
Yeah, but he's only half a body.
So seal that fucker away.
Yeah, so, hey, throw him into the sun. Well, that's one of those things that it at least would have explained. Because, I mean, hey, you chop off half my body and throw me into the sun. I'm immortal, but I'm not going anywhere for a while. So that could have at least explained him away for a while.
Well, back to the rage boosting thing, I thought that it was done a little too much with Trunks. Like, it felt like everybody had a rage boost. Did Vegeta have a rage boost? Vegeta's normal state is angry. Goku had a rage boost, which is fine. Yeah, that was awesome. Trunks had like a bunch of it's like the only way they could get Trunks' power up to par was to have him rage boost the entire time. Because then he had that whole Super Saiyan Tree Trunks thing. I call it Tree Trunks because I think it's funny because his name is Trunks and trees have trunks. Ha ha ha.
I got it.
Which is another thing I didn't explain. They didn't even comment on it. They're like, "Oh, Trunks is strong now." Okay. Oh well, whatever. It's all right. It was cool. That's all that matters, apparently. How about how Zami-chan shouldn't be immortal after the fusion because he's a completely different person?
Yeah, see, that was my instant go-to is he's not immortal anymore because he's a different person. The immortality was for that dude. It's a fusion.
That would have been better.
He's no longer immortal. That would have explained it. Yeah. But the whole half of his body's still immortal. All right. That's stupid. I already told you how you get over that without having to make him random gas.
Cloud face?
I mean,
dimension, red beam.
I don't get it, and I don't think it makes sense, and I don't think that's how immortality works.
So why couldn't he just fuse and say, okay, I'm not immortal anymore, but I fuse so I'm like multiples more powerful than I was, so I can basically wipe you guys out so easily.
My immortality doesn't even matter anymore.
Exactly. And the same events would have taken place, regardless of whether or not he was immortal.
Yeah. Also, let's just I want to say something else about Zami-chan.
Uh-huh.
He is a liar.
No shit.
Like, it sounds really weird to say, but he is a liar. He said he killed all of the gods.
Zeno's still alive.
He's like in charge of all of them. Are you telling me that as a guy that used to, like, what, he didn't know about him? Honestly, I don't even think that superpowered Zami-chan fusion is powerful enough to go ahead and beat Beerus. I think Beerus is stronger than him.
Super Zami-chan?
Yeah.
Or Beerus is stronger than Super Zami-chan?
Yeah, I think Beerus is stronger than Super Zami-chan. And even then, before he found out about Super Saiyan Blue and Super Saiyan Rosa, how did he beat Beerus?
Well, he killed Supreme Kai, because they're linked. That's why in the last episode, Beerus says to Supreme Kai, you better not die, you stay alive, because they're linked. Which they didn't explain very well. They said like one sentence, I think.
So what about Whis? Is Whis randomly linked to them too?
Oh no, remember when Whis says when the god of destruction dies, Whis ceases to function until a new god of destruction is appointed? Isn't that convenient?
Okay, so Whis' dad, who works with Zeno's son,
also
would not know about that?
No, he wouldn't.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay. I'm just saying...
Zeno should have known about Zami-chan.
Zeno should have known something. Somebody in the upper god echelon should have known something. Because the whole reason that they kind of half explained away anything that's happened in Dragon Ball Z is King Kai, who's the Kai of the North, really didn't pass it up to anybody else because it didn't need to be passed up to anybody else.
Yeah.
So
because it was just kind of on Earth. King Zeno or something like that, who knows everything. You know, the big fat one that needs a kiss or something.
Yeah.
How does he know everything, but Zeno doesn't know that Zami-chan is killing all mortals in the universe and also killed all the gods?
It is really just, if nothing else, Dragon Ball Super and this arc has continued to introduce things and not explain them and leave me more perplexed.
Coming in the future on this channel, top 1,000 things Dragon Ball Super has not explained.
I think you teased that in the last video too.
Did I?
Yes.
Okay. It's coming, people. How Zami-chan's plan isn't logical, doesn't make sense, and also he's destroying the fucking Earth and the universe, and he wants to make it beautiful by getting rid of mortals, but he's destroying the universe.
Yeah, I always think pretty comes with extreme destruction. Like, you know, sometimes I go around and light fires in the middle of the forest and watch it all burn.
Yeah.
Then go back later and say, it's beautiful now. All those dirty animals aren't pooping in it anymore. Thank God for that.
Now it's all brown and dirt and smolder.
And dead.
Maybe that is it. He loves, like, death is beautiful to him. Maybe that's it.
So what you're telling me is Zami-chan is Judge Death from Judge Dredd.
I guess so.
But yeah, no, Zami-chan's plan, as he continues to go crazy and crazier, continues to make less and less sense.
Yeah. And then it just kind of chalked it up to his arrogance, and his way of thinking got so ingrained in his mind that it just kind of pushed him over the edge to insanity, to where he thought that death was beautiful, essentially. So all the destruction that he was causing to the planet and the universe did not, like, cross his mind at all.
Yeah, I don't get it. Because there's the argument to be made for most great villains of every villain thinks they're the hero of their story, you know, so they're going to but however, the usual conclusion of the destroy the world so I can rebuild it usually ends with a rebuild it.
A rebuild it clause.
Under my rule there will be peace. When everybody does what I tell them to, nobody will argue, so there will be no war.
Yeah, but in Zami-chan's world, there will be nobody.
And it wasn't even like, I have to kill all the mortals. He went away from killing all the mortals. Like, most of the time when people are like, I have to kill the human race, they're a horrible thing. Usually it's, look what they've done to the environment. Look what they've done to the animals. Look what they've done to the world. Look what they've done to the universe. Humans have crapped all over everything and keep leaving their garbage everywhere. They're a horrible species. Zami-chan's plan almost was that for a while, and then he went crazy and was like, you know what? Fuck all of the beauty.
Just fuck it all. I give up. I'm just gonna kill everything.
And that is... You can't even say that you saw his fall, like, in a decent storytelling way.
Yeah.
You know, like, there's other villains that you can say you see the fall, you see when they become the villain, and you see their realization of when they become the villain in their eyes, and that's when they kind of go crazy. He went through it in, like, 2 seconds.
Or he basically just started doing it. He's like, I'm gonna kill all mortals, and I'm gonna blast the earth to smithereens.
Well, and he wasn't even doing I'm gonna kill all mortals and destroy all of their cities and then, like, obliterate them so that way nature can take its course over it. He was leaving the rubble. The rubble behind. He was, you know, like, no. These ruins, they're staying. He wasn't even like, I have to destroy all of the humans.
Uh-huh.
And then, you know, look, now this is fresh ground that nature can proclaim back for itself. Like, even when he was still, like, falling, he's like, no, this is a nice house. I think I'll stay at this house. And,
this nice house by this lake. I'm not going to tarnish this, but I'll tarnish the shit out of the ground that the city's on. I'll, like, destroy miles and miles of earth, like, where the city is, but I'll leave this pond untouched.
But even then, it was more like he wasn't leaving the pond untouched because he liked the nature. It was, I have no reason to destroy this right now. Because literally, like, when there were people in there shooting at him, he was like, well, so much for that.
So much for the pond. Yeah, if there were people swimming in it.
He didn't even, like, give them an anger, like, you made me destroy this. Look what you did to this area.
That would have been amazing.
You know, he literally went with dirty humans and mortals everywhere. Ew, burn the... He literally decided to do there's a spider somewhere in my house. I have to burn my house down to get that spider. That was Zami-chan's thinking.
Man, that would have been so cool if he, like, had that realization. He's like, look at what these humans are making me do to this beautiful planet. That would have been awesome.
Well, and he kind of had, like, the realization where he's like, you know, because he's like, I'm a god. It's like, no, you're really not. You're looking at all this bullshit that you're doing. He's like, you know what? You're right. I've surpassed a god. I am above even gods. I am the monster. It was even his like fall into I am the bad guy was not good. And then he didn't even start yelling anything when he decided to become the sky.
Yeah, he said nothing.
He just started laughing and then destroyed the whole planet and then kept laughing. It was like, I destroyed the whole planet. Now I'm going to destroy the whole universe and I'm going to destroy the past.
I just really hated that part and thought it was completely pointless. Yeah. It would have been much better if they just ended it with Trunks slicing him in half. Because that was kind of an ironic kind of thing, because that's what Zami-chan does, is he cuts people in half. And so that's what Trunks did to him. That was the perfect ending to Zami-chan.
Yeah, it was, like I said, they just did it one too many times, and that last time was where it really jumped the shark.
Yeah.
Really, it jumped the shark the time before, but we were willing to acknowledge the landing of the motorcycle.
Really jumped the Sharknado.
You had to ruin my perfectly good Happy Days analogy where the actual term jumping a shark comes from with Sharknado, didn't you?
So, the arc as a whole, I thought there was really great episodes and really bad episodes. It's like a fruit salad where there's your favorite kind of fruit in there, but sprinkled in there's like shards of rabbit shit in it.
That's so really mean, man. You could have just said like I had a really great fruit salad, but then for some odd reason somebody put fucking, Brussels sprouts in it.
I was trying to think of a fruit people don't usually like, but I couldn't think of anything, so I just went with shit. Okay, you know what? The Future Trunks arc is like a really amazing pizza with all your favorite toppings, with like really gross anchovies or something that you don't like on it that you have to kind of pick off in order to enjoy the pizza.
But still kind of leaves the residue that it used to be there.
Yes.
So like as much as you want to pick off all the little bits, there's still one or two little bits that you couldn't get.
Yeah,
there were
like
stuff like underneath the cheese that you
and
couldn't reach.
Like the juices kind of flowed onto the pizza, so that there's a little hint of taste on there, and also that it was there. So mentally, it's
still there, and you're not enjoying the pizza as much as it could.
You're not mentally enjoying the pizza, so you can't like enjoy the pizza as much as you would if it was all your favorite toppings.
The Future Trunks arc wasn't bad. Like I said, I think it did good things on the couple of stuff that it did do, as I was saying, where it kept me guessing and kept me thinking. I enjoyed that. So as a whole, it was not bad. My issues with it come from knowing too much. It's the whole, can you enjoy the hot dog after you know what's in it? So I know a lot about Future Trunks, and I know all the history. I love time travel stuff, so I got super into the Cell arc and the Androids arc, and like studied all of it, and like thought of it in my mind, and studied other time travel theories and how that matches up. And then putting everything together, a majority of my complaints about it come from, like I said, just knowing too much about it and being able to say that doesn't make sense. So a majority of my complaints about the Future Trunks arc come from I couldn't enjoy it because I knew that there was stuff wrong in my head. So As much as I wanted to.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I thought as a whole the Trunks arc was very enjoyable to me. There was a lot of problems that I had with a lot of the stuff and a lot of how events played out. Narratively, it could have been better narratively, definitely. And I think definitely the strongest part of this was the episodes which were very well animated and action heavy. It kind of brought me back to part of where Dragon Ball Z's strength lied was in the great action sequences. And finally, in Dragon Ball Super, we start having some great action sequences. And like you said, there was the great, like, guessing what's coming next, the mystery of who Goku Black is, and, like, where is this evil future Zami-chan from, and how did that whole thing work, and how did the timelines work. And I also love the time paradox time stuff in fiction. It's really fun to think about, even though a lot of times it doesn't make sense. Most of the time it doesn't make sense. And I think that is a quality of like time paradoxes and time stuff in fiction in general, is that it just doesn't make sense. But it's fun to try and wrap your head around it.
Yeah, I think this arc set out to do what the studio wanted it to do. Because I think more people have been discussing the Future Trunks arc in Super more than any other arc.
Most definitely, yeah.
Like, even the movies. Like, the movies got some traction, people kind of watched them. I knew friends that weren't super into Dragon Ball anymore, that still watch other anime and other geekdom, that when it's like, oh yeah, no, they're doing Future Trunks, it's like, well, I really liked his arc and his stuff. What are they doing with him? You know, I'm interested. Tell me about it. They got people talking about Dragon Ball Super. And I think that's what they set out to do, and I think they accomplished it.
I think they definitely succeeded with that.
So...
yeah, another thing about this arc was definitely a fan reach, because they brought back Trunks, they brought back the time travel stuff, they brought back the whole swordplay stuff, and they brought back Vegito, which are Trunks and Vegito, two really big fan favorite kind of things there.
Yeah, like I said, I thought they ended it very nicely. That was like a perfect end. That I think they kind of, you know, the fact that they're continuing on, I think is almost a mistake now. This
maybe
filler arc better be really entertaining, because the Dragon Ball Super filler stuff has not been. And you did a really great way to end the series off there.
Okay, so the timelines in this arc, like the whole Zami-chan thing, his whole origin, it's so like overly complicated. Like the way they explain it, I did an explanation on my channel. If you watch that, it's kind of how things played out and how they explained it in the show. But basically, Goku Black led to his own creation. It's a time paradox, sort of. But one major thing that also doesn't make sense on top of that is that Beerus breaks the timeline and creates a new timeline, which kind of states in episode 67. He said, there's a new time ring, and that's because of you, Beerus, because he killed Zami-chan.
Timelines in Dragon Ball don't really make sense. That's my biggest issue with a lot of these timeline things and explaining is you're Back to the Future in it, okay? Which is, it splinters off and creates a different parallel timeline or universe, right? And that's like the bad, you know, it's the bad 1985 and Back to the Future, and it's Future Trunks' future, right?
Yeah.
So pretty much it was a solid line. Future Trunks came back, told Goku and stuff. So instead of it going on continuously into Future Trunks, it splintered off and started a different one.
Started a new timeline. That's the rule, is that going back in time creates a new timeline.
Right. It creates a new timeline. And that's the whole thing. Now, Future Trunks then goes back to his time, which all of the stuff still happened in his timeline, his main stream of time. Evidently, when he now goes back to the past, it goes back to the other timeline.
Yeah.
The main Dragon Ball Z timeline. If he just went straight to the past and visited...
It would have been he would have created a new timeline from his past.
Also, why does Future Trunks pick, 8 years after his last visit?
Because it's Dragon Ball Super now, and it has to up to the timeline where they're at now.
Right, was he just like, hey, you know what sounds like a good time after I last visited that would give Goku and Vegeta plenty of time to go ahead and train up?
And he thought Goku was still dead. So, what does it matter what time he goes back? Like, he should have just come back.
Because he watched Goku die against Cell. He didn't know that he was wished back to life at any point in time.
Exactly. Like, so why did he chose that long after to go back in time? Why not, like, 1 year after?
You know, or it's just, it doesn't make that much sense to me that he would pick that time to go to, specifically.
It is really fun to think about. Like I said, the time travel stuff, I really like thinking about it, wrapping my head around it. It does not make sense, especially the way that they did it with the whole time loop and the splitting of the timelines at the same time.
Yeah.
And I think it would have been better and more sensical if they went a different route. Like, it seems like the manga's going. I haven't read up to date with the manga, I don't think, but it seems that the manga is going in a different direction, which hopefully will make sense. But yeah, anyway, if you want to discuss the timelines, go and watch one of the many videos on YouTube about the timelines, or go on my video and comment with all the others about the timeline.
But hey, like, favorite, and subscribe.
And thumbs up that shit.
Exactly.
Well, at any rate, everybody, if you liked the video, go ahead and thumbs up the video. If you have anything to add to the discussion, just give us your opinion in the comments. And
like, favorite, and subscribe, Hey. So this is Daniel, and I'm doing the outros and the intros from now on, because evidently it just throws him off. Which is kind of funny. This isn't our third take at all. So, see ya.
All right, everyone, have a good one.